worried he'd have to fight to get paid for it.
podcast. I am one of your hosts, Rob Lowell, and joining me as always is Brandon Garrand, my co-host. Brandon, how are you this Friday night?
Not bad, Rob. How are you doing?
Not bad. Can't complain. Starting to warm up a little bit outside, so that's always nice.
Yeah, definitely was a really nice day out there.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be warmer, but I guess we got some rain coming in. We're gonna be in the 50s though, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's warmer. Hopefully, just enough to melt some of the snow a little bit. Hopefully, we don't get a freeze after where it turns everything into ice. But I
And
just want to
then
get
we
rid of
have
some of
mud
the
season.
snow. Yeah, yeah. The mud season.
You
It's a
realize
pain, but
our southern listeners are going, "What the hell is mud season?"
yeah.
uh, Something that us
Mud
guys are.
seasons. Mud seasons. A look forward. A lot of people look forward to mud season. They go out. They go mud with. You know what I mean? It's a look forward to thing up here. You don't got much else going on.
That is for sure. So, Brandon, we got a jam-packed show tonight. We got the first half hour. We're gonna be going over the results from all three series this previous week, and at 7:30, um, we have Trevor coming on, the current points leader on the G.Stone Motors 358 Modified Series. Um, and then at 7:50, um, we got a guy coming on. Most everyone will know his voice. He's our broadcaster from Turn 3 Racing Network for both our Friday Night Busch Series and our Sunday Night Cup Series. But I feel like a lot of our listeners don't really know Brett's backstory on both his iRacing career and his career on Turn 3 Racing Network and Turn 3 Racing Network's history as a whole. Because obviously, Roger Muth runs broadcast our Tuesday night G.Stone Motors 358 series on Turn 3 Racing Network. So Brett's going to come on and give us a rundown on himself and the Turn 3 Racing Network. And then at the end of the show, we'll do our usual. Um, we'll do our picks for the Busch and Cup Series, um, and we'll discuss real quick our big event tomorrow morning, which is our launch of our 802 limited iRating ARCA series. So we're across the pond for that one over in Japan in the morning. So with that, let's jump right into our results from Tuesday night's race at Knoxville. I will let you kick it off.
Yeah, it was a good race in Knoxville, really racy track. It all started out, I believe, Chad Lackey got the ball. I gotta pull up the results here. I'm slacking. Yes, it was Chad Lackey who got the pole, so he gets the all crucial 5 bonus points. He's kind of fallen behind as of late with Trevor, who's coming on. He's got 3 straight wins, and he's really picked up the pace here the last couple weeks. So these 5 bonus points are very crucial for Chad. And then we go right into the heat races and talk about a stacked first heat. I mean, I was in there with Dean. We were both in the voice chat, and I looked in front of us. We had basically almost the top 5 on points. Trevor was in there. Sam was in there. Roselli was in there, and Chad Lackey. So we got all these guys battling because the crucial part is the winner of this heat race with not everybody. Well, it wouldn't matter anyways, even if we didn't have. But it's basically the heads up start. So you win this heat race, you're going to start on the pole for the feature. So it was a battle, and Trevor, who started third, he got up. He won the heat race. Sam finished second. Dean third. Anthony fourth, and then Chad fell back to fifth actually from his fourth place starting spot with the invert from how it goes from qualifying. So very crucial right there that Trevor starts on the pole. And Chad's gonna be starting deep in the field. I think he started 13th if I do quick math correctly, but we'll go over that when we get to the feature. And then Heat Race 2, Matt Barber, who kind of fell behind early in the points, but lately he's been coming on strong and he's actually jumped up to third place in points. And he gets Heat Race win number 2. Then Heat Race 3 went to Sean Green with Mike Brewer following him really tight behind. Shane Billings had a little bit of trouble. He started on the pole in this, and just kind of bottlenecked up, and a lot of guys found their way through, snuck their way through, and Greeny and Brewer kind of battled it out. Really good battle for their 8 laps. So, and then with only the 21 cars showing up, there's no B main, so we went right into the feature. And like I said, the crucial importance of getting that pole, because Trevor led every lap in this race. Stayed up front, didn't have to get through the 3 cautions where there was a couple big ones, and some guys had to go to the back after going through the pits, getting their fast repair, and he just started up front, kept his nose clean, but he wasn't to be outmatched because Chad Lackey drove from 13th to finish second, and very crucial because with his 5 bonus points from the pole award, he actually ends up gaining a point on Trevor. He ended up with 151 points on the night, and Trevor had 150. So
Nice.
it ain't much, but that pole award really helped Chad gain a point, even though he didn't win the race over Trevor. So go through the full lineup here. We had Trevor Giroux get the win. Chad Lackey finishes second. Matt Barber third. Mike Brewer fourth. Dean Reynolds fifth. Ryland Banks finished sixth. Sean Green seventh. Joey Lattiser finishes eighth. Jeff Sharp ninth. Shane Billings 10th. Anthony Orzelli, who's one of the ones that got caught up in an accident, had to go to the back. He finishes 11th. Tyler Nauth 12th. Mike Stryker 13th. Clay Christopherson, another one from the back to the front. Clay was up front most of the race and just didn't have time to race back up through. 14th, 15th out of Clump. 16th Sam Bachman. 17th myself. 18th Teddy York. 19th Glenn Sharp. 20th Mason Hine. And 21st went to Logan Wentz.
Man, well, you kind of, well, I guess not. I would say you kind of dinged your top 5 run there, but
Oh no,
yeah, Sunday
it's
night
been a
was
rough one.
Sunday you had Sunday and then you had yeah, Monday night, yeah. Sorry, yep, I was forgetting that you're racing a lot more, a lot more than I am right now. So
I race every night almost. Oh, I had truck trouble last Thursday, not last night, but the Thursday before. Disconnected there, then kind of went to Michigan, had a good run. We'll get through that, and then yeah, we'll get to the Sunday one too. But another disconnection, and then yeah, hopefully this week we're a little bit better. Dirt was fine. Last night was not good again, but we'll see what happens.
yeah, that the connection thing, um, it's 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 hit a couple people lately, and it kind of sounds like by listening to I listened to iRacers Lounge podcast today. Um, I listened to both last week's and this week's, and it sounds like iRacing has kind of refined that a little bit, and what we're seeing maybe the new normal going forward. It sounds like they've dialed it in a little tighter, so it's starting to kick people, and it's starting to kick people in series that I didn't used to be active in. So I didn't realize this. It was only active to up into a handful of series until the last 3 or 4 weeks, and they've been adding series each week that it's now active in. So um, I guess that's what's going on there. So found that kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's all part of it. I mean, it's just like having a mechanical failure during the race. Yeah, if your equipment's not up to par, it's gonna pull you into the pit side until you can get it fixed for a little bit, which I don't mind.
So we go to Lanier this coming week. That is the track that our racers voted on to add to the schedule. And you want to wait and do the picks when Trevor's on for that one?
Yeah, we kind of give it a little preview. I figure with Trevor and see what his thoughts are on the track itself, and go over kind of like just a quick brief overview. I just want to hear what his thoughts are going down the stretch here in the playoff hunt, or not
Sounds
the
good.
playoff hunt, the points hunt.
So let's jump over to the Busch Series, and man, Brandon, you had a heck of a night. Not to ruin it or not to sound surprised, but you took the win. You went up there and you passed Cody and Mike and Logan and Richard late in the race, and I'll let you talk it through, but I'll do the top five real quick. So Brandon Garrand was the winner on Friday, his first career Busch Series win in the 802. Uh, Cody McCorkle was second. Mike Kelly continues his super strong run on the Busch Series in third place. Logan Kogar took over fourth and took over the points lead. Um, our points leader going into the night was not in attendance. Cody Gibson, he had a prior commitment, and then Richard Beasley rounded the top five. And Brandon, I will let you kind of talk about the stretch run there of the race, the last I'd say 20 laps, and how it worked out.
Yeah, so I'll bring it back to like lap one when I feel bad. So I think I turned Rick a little bit, but everybody's kind of said that it was just a 3 wide thing where he thought I would be a little bit lower, but racing deal. But it started from there and just constantly was. I felt like I was fixing damage on the car, and then we went green for a while, if I remember. I think our first cycle was a green flag cycle to stop, and then the next one we had a caution, and I think it was about 25 to go was that caution, and I was like, I think this caution's gonna breed a bunch more, and I was like, I'm just gonna come in, I'm gonna get fuel only because at least I can make it from here with the fuel. And I noticed a few guys also only took fuel only, but a bunch of guys did take tires. Then we had another little run, and I ended up getting nose damage, so the next caution had come out, and I was like, well, I'm not going to take the tires because I don't know how much damage I have on the car. So I wanted to at least make sure I gave myself enough time to fix all the damage, and luckily it did, but I didn't have time to come back down and get tires that stop. So I was like, well, hopefully I can just wait for another caution. And luckily we had one with, I want to say about 15 to go, and during the race I was talking to Frank and Dustin, I was telling them, I was like, I don't want to take my last set to about 15 to go. And luckily that's when the caution came out and took the tires, but I wasn't the only one. Cody also, who finished second, he took the tires, and when that restart came out, he fired off a lot faster than me and got up to the front way quicker. So I was a little nervous, but methodically worked my way up there, and then him and Logan got racing really hard, and luckily just had the draft one corner and had a really good corner and could just kind of took it 3 wide to the bottom and cleared him going into one. And once I had the clean air, I was pretty confident that I could stay in front of him, and yeah, didn't stretch it out much, but loved the last 4 laps and got a win for first time this season.
Yeah, it was. So I was on the same strategy of you taking tires late, except I did not fire off. Like when you and Cody did, Um, I thought for sure there's gonna be a big wad of cars in a pile there somewhere along the way in the stretch run, and my thought was, um, I would wait for that to happen, hang back, wait for that to happen, and wipe out half the field that was left. I thought, and then I was gonna have the freshest tires of anyone because I had saved them, and that caution never came. So
Yeah, I told Dustin and Frank, I said, I'm either going to make it to the front or I'm going to drive so fast into this wreck, it's not even going to be funny because I'm not holding back now. That's what I said at the green flag. And I seen Cody get out there and I was like, might be a run for second if he can clear the leader quick. But luckily he didn't.
yeah, that Sorry, I'm just answering Austin Smith. He's looking to get into tonight's race, so I'm trying to get him the information to get in the league. Another returning member from years past.
Yep. But
Um,
overall, I thought the race was really good. I mean, like I said, we had the run of at the end, kind of after halfway, where we had 3 cautions. But that first hole, I want to say, what was the race? 85 laps. So, like, yeah, the first 60, 50 to 60 laps are really good. We stayed green the whole time. And, I mean, it's Michigan. A lot of room out there. Some people are running the bottom real good. The top was running, and just a really racy racetrack.
yeah, Michigan's a great track. Um, so we'll run through the rest of the running order. Scott Sully finished sixth. Joe Hudson was seventh. Jorge Ledesma Jr. was eighth. Kenny Rio making a rare Friday night appearance was ninth, and Kenneth Kuko was 10th.
Nicholas Celine in 11th, Dustin Coggin 12th, Ron Holyfield 13th, Rick Kennedy 14th, Rob yourself 15th, Stoney Benfield 16th, Steve Vest 17th, Bryson Anderson 18th, Johnny Barker 19th, Steve Ritter 20th, Frank Zingen 21st, Chad Coleman 22nd, Joe Livingston 23rd, and Joey Gattina 24th.
Yeah, and Joey, if you look, he'll say disqualified. And what happened there was he had his he got a black flag during his pit stop, and he had his black flag. He had his flag where the flags pop up on his screen on the UI. He had moved to his left-hand screen. He said, um, and I went back and watched his in-car stream, his live stream. Um, and for some reason, the spotter never told him he had a black flag. I actually went through and listened to it twice. I'm like, it always tells you have a black, and it didn't. So there was a glitch there, and his spotter um, didn't tell him. I used to run the spotter pack, like I know other guys do, and they always told you had a black. So kind of a weird deal there, and it bit Joey.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I feel like he was at the front at the time. Like he was doing like a pit strategy, and I feel like he was at the front at the time when it happened. So
Yeah, he'd moved
really,
around to the top
really unfortunate.
7, 8, and he was strong late in the run. Like just for the pit stop, he'd moved up. I want to say he just moved to the top 5 maybe. And Joey is really good at saving his tires on those long runs. And I feel like he would have been in there in the top 5 at the end if that hadn't happened. So I felt bad for Joey on that. But I'm sure he'll have his flags now where he can see them. And actually, if you watch his stream, go to Twitch. He's on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. He's multi-streaming. He had a really good sense of humor about it. He stuck around. He streamed the whole race. He was focused on the leaders. He was focusing on the battle up front. And then it was funny because he was focusing on Kelly and them, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I got to start focusing on the leader here. Brandon's kind of driving out of the view here. You and Cody got
Yeah,
out there where you couldn't see anymore. So, um, yeah, Joey stuck around, and I just felt bad for him. And then you want to go ahead and pick our who we think's gonna win going
um,
forward here?
we can, or how about we wait for Brett too? We could do
Oh yeah,
some
well yeah,
because
that's a great idea.
Brett knows all the drivers. He
Yep.
knows I mean, obviously he's watching all of our races lately, so I think he'd be a. I like some of the other drivers when we ask them, we're like, "Well, what do you think?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't really watch the other drivers. I'm probably more focused on myself." But
Yeah.
I think Brett would be a good person to have pick with us.
We'll jump over to the Cup race. I'll let you run through the top 5 while I get up the rest of the results.
God. I'm slow with my race results. All right, so it was Chad Coleman picking up the win at Michigan. I think that's his fourth win on the year, if I memory serves me right.
I believe so.
Josh Parker second, Frank Zingen first playoff driver to cross the line in third, Jeff Pogo fourth, and Anthony Calantoni fifth.
And what I would say there is, it was by no means a walk in the park for Chad. Um, Josh and Frank were definitely keeping him honest. They were both within, I want to say, less than a second of him. Yeah, so Josh Parker was .12, so he was 12 hundredths of a second behind Chad, and Frank was just under 6/10 of a second back. So, um, you and I talked in the admin chat after that race, Brandon. Next season, Michigan will be 125 laps. So 100 laps came down to it forced into a fuel mileage. You could go like 40, 47 laps.
47, 48.
Yep, if you didn't save, so it forced people to save both stints. Well, either you had to super save the first stint and then you could go wide open the second half. Um, that was the strategy I took. Definitely not the right strategy. Um, you and some others saved a little bit on each in each. Um, you were on that strategy. I feel like before you had the connection problems. Chad, Josh, Frank, Pogo, Calantoni, Barker, those guys were all on the gonna save just enough to go 50 laps,
The
51 laps, and then do the same on the other end. Um, so I
yeah, the
saved.
connection issues kind of forced my hand with like strategy because it kept like yeah, there was even a couple times where Steve was telling me I blinked out, so I was just like, well, I kind of
Yeah.
I'm not gonna race in the pack. Like it's not worth it to me to be that guy either.
So I came out. I super saved the first half, went 53 laps. I first 5 laps, I clutched just turn three and four, and then from there on, I clutched one and two and three and four, and I went 53 laps. I knew from practicing during the week, if I did that, I could go wide open the whole second half of the race, and I thought that would get me into the top five. When I came out of the pits, I was just over 17 seconds behind the leader. I ended up at 14 seconds, so I did pick up 3 seconds over the run, but I just given up so much the first half. I think I came out of the pits like 16th or 17th. I was able to pass cars, get in the top eight, but if I had to do it all over again, I would have just stayed in the pack and drafted, um, kind of like Frank and Jeff did, and would
Yep.
have been much better off. So I said my goal all along was get a top 10 finish coming out of there for the points, and it worked out. So um, you did the top five. Johnny Barker was sixth. Joe Hudson was seventh. I was eighth. Shannon Wood was ninth, and Nick Larson was 10th. Um,
Scott Simley 11th, Kyle Merker 12th, Eli Raposa 13th, Mike Kelly 14th, Steve Ritter 15th, Devin McCaffrey 16th, Chris Proger 17th, Nate Brooker 18th, Sean Deal 19th, Bryson Anderson 20th, Gerald Livingston 21st, Arabia Caton 22nd, myself 23rd, Jim Ott 24th, Kip Easley 25th, and Daniel Holcroft 26th. So a lot of guys with connection issues. I will say that's one thing that's kind of in my favor is five other guys are also right around like five playoff guys finished the last five spots in the thing. So not the worst case scenario, but I would have said Michigan's kind of like would have was more of my safety net. Kind of like want to start off with a good note, but the playoffs will be interesting. I think it makes it more fun to
yeah,
have a little bit of pressure.
absolutely. And I have the top 15 points up here now. I'm gonna move them over. There we go. So excuse the Discord background. This is the only way we can really get the easy breakdown to show. So playoff picture after race one or round one. Anthony Calatoni is the points leader. Jeff Pogo sits one point behind. Frank Zingen makes a massive jump from 14th in points up to third in points. He's 4 points back. Joe Hudson and Johnny Barker are tied for fourth, 6 points back. I sit in sixth, 9 points back. Nick Larson's seventh, 11 points. Eli Raposa is eighth, 14 points back. Steve Ritter is ninth, 16. Uh, Chris Progar's 10th. Jim Ott. So Chris is right on the bubble. 5 points behind Chris is Jim Ott. Arabia Caton the third is tied with Jim Ott, so he's 5 points back. And then Brandon, you sit 1 point behind them, so you'd be 6 points back. You're tied with Kip, actually, right? No, Kip is 1 point behind you. Sorry. Kip sits 25 points back of the point leader, but behind the bubble, he is 7, and then Daniel Holcroft sits 9 points out of the playoffs situation spot at 10th. So super tight back there. I guess he's 8 points back. Sorry. Um, it's only 8 points from being in and being out right now. And that's going to be really volatile going into Dover this week, I'd assume. Dover's the concrete is very, very tricky, and um, I don't think any of us probably feel comfortable going to Dover um, anywhere near that
Not at
concrete.
all. Not at all.
I mean, it's not just you have to worry about. All it takes is one guy to get loose off turn four, um,
Yep.
on
That's what
corners, and
worries me.
yep. So, and I almost feel like that's one of those tracks you'd rather be on the outside of someone, because it is this kind of self cleaning track. So it's tough.
Yeah. But I mean, when we decided to do the playoffs this year, which I don't think we're doing it next year, we might. I don't. That'll be plans for another day and discussion for another day. But this is kind of what we wanted was a little bit of pressure on everybody, and it makes everybody show up these last 9 races too. Like there's no drops. It's all in or all out.
Yep, absolutely. I'm looking for Trevor. I don't see him in the voice chat yet. Um, just have tell him to hop in the podcast waiting room. So yeah, um, I would say Dover's really the only wild card in the playoffs, at least as I look at it. I don't know if you would say
Yeah,
it's a
for
wild
the
card.
most part, I think Gateway could probably be a wild card. I didn't. I mean, I know how the track races, but I didn't race there with everybody, and it could be a little bit of a wild card. But I think it's kind of a track where we'll get spaced out eventually if we can get some green flag runs. That'll be the key there.
Yep, absolutely. So
At least if we get some green flag racing. But I believe Trevor's here.
he is, and I don't know how we did it, Brandon, but we were actually on time a couple minutes early, so we stayed on schedule for a change through our first half hour.
Yeah, we did good.
I don't
We
know if we
did
got
good.
lucky or if we're actually getting better at this.
I'm gonna go with luck for now until it happens a couple weeks in a row.
I would agree with that. So let's get Trevor in here. I'll move him into the podcast with us. I'll let you do the introduction, and I'll let you take the lead in this because you've been racing the most.
All right, so joining us now on the podcast, points leader of the G.Stone Motors 358 series in the 802 iRacing League, driver of the 75T for Full Throttle Motorsports, Team Canada, Trevor Giroux. Trevor, thanks for joining us.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So, Trevor, first year with the 802, and you come in here, and I wouldn't say you had a slow start, but you kind of were just you were here. You had that one good early win in the season, and then all of a sudden these last, well, I mean, I guess last 3 races we won't count weeks because we had the break, but these last 3 weeks you really put the pedal to the metal, and what seemed like earlier in the season was Chad kind of pulling away from everybody. You all of a sudden have jumped up there, and now you've snatched the points lead from them, and I just gotta say, how did you make that happen? Is it just more like you got comfortable with all the guys that are in the league, or I know you should probably race with a bunch of them in other leagues, so
Yeah, I mean, kind of, just getting my feet wet in the league and, like you said, getting comfortable with some of the guys. I mean, I've probably raced with, I'd say 50% of them. So, I mean, I know most of them, but there's a lot of guys that run up front that I haven't raced with. So just, getting used to tendencies and things like that and, trying to get into a rhythm. It's, nervousness as well. I run another league 3 times a week, and you get to a point where you've done it for so long, you know what to expect going in, and you don't really get nervous anymore. And I mean, it some people think it's dumb and it's just iRacing, but I get nervous for a lot of races I race in. So that was me early on, and I'm finally just getting comfortable and getting into a rhythm, just really focused and locked in right now, trying to finish out the season strong.
yeah, I'd say like when so you bring up nervousness, like are you nervous like from the get go, like practice, or is it like are you nervous during qualify? Like what gets you nervous like out there, like because when I'm watching you race, man, I'm just like this guy's like as cool as can be, just very smooth and like kind of like almost in a way came out of nowhere. Like just
Yeah, honestly, like I don't know, we get a good amount of practice time, so you get used to the track, you get used to the car, the setup, whatever it may be, and then as soon as you hit that grid button for qualifying or the heat race, fan, it just hits me, and I don't know, it's like you're not nervous to race, you're just nervous because you expect a lot out of yourself and you want to do good, and obviously it's not always gonna happen that way. I mean, I had a race, I think it was Eldora, I didn't even make the show, so I mean, it's just racing, you know what I mean? It's just you have good nights and you have bad nights, but I think that's where it stems for me is you want to come in and you want to do good, and that's kind of what my anxiety comes from. I expect a lot out of myself, especially in the 358 mods. I've been racing them the day they came out, so I expect a lot out of myself out of cars I'm very familiar with, and just like I said, high expectations. So.
yeah, and like each race, you're in like a voice chat with like all the Canadian guys, right? You're in there with Chad and everybody. Are you part of that team chat?
Um, there's been a couple times that I've hung out with those guys to race, and then I kind of swap back and forth with the FTM guys. Like one race I'll hang out with Chad and Matt and those boys, and then another race I'll head back and hang out with the FTM guys. But I kind of just juggle back and forth, kind of just hang out with these guys, hang out with the other group, and obviously Matt and Chad and those guys aren't my teammates. They're just obviously really good friends, so I like hanging out with them every now and then obviously sharing that time with my teammates as well.
Good.
Hey, Trevor, it's Rob.
Yeah.
Nice to have you on. Um, Appreciate you being part of the league, and I'm just curious. You're part of FTM with Dean and the other guys.
Yeah.
How has how do you find the team aspect of iRacing, and how do you guys feed off each other and make each other better? Because I know Dean is very complimentary of his teammates and that you guys push each other. How does that work for you?
Yeah, that's honestly I love that question. I joined FTM. I'm going on a year now, and it's been nothing but spectacular with these guys. I've never it's gonna sound cliche, but I've never raced with a group like this. I mean, you hear it all the time where it's like, yeah, we push each other, and then you get on a team and it's not what happens, but we actually do that. Um, sometimes we get mad at each other because you want all like yourself and your teammates to do good. So when guys are doing something, say Dean's doing better and he's, kind of pushing you to your limits saying do this instead, do that instead. Not there's not one guy who's better than another. We feed off each other. There's a lot of information during a race that we give each other, whether it's lines, if I'm running fifth and Dean's running second, and or especially if you have a teammate leading and he doesn't really know where the line is because you're just running your own line leading. I'm running fifth and I just passed two cars running the bottom. I'll say, Dean, you should probably get down to the bottom. It's just kind of like in that aspect where we just help each other, push each other. We encourage each other to get on and do practices and host races and host private practices for the guys. And it's a really good environment. I mean, I was telling my wife after we got back from Florida, I've never been a part of a group where, you meet people online and then you meet them in person. It's we're teammates, but it's a friendship now. We know each other in person. A lot of us, obviously, there's guys who we didn't meet in Florida, but we have a really really special group there.
Is that in the FTM budget where you guys all get to go to Florida? Just curious because I feel like a lot of you guys are down there this February, so I wasn't sure if that's part of the team budget. I'm gonna have to talk to Dean more when I'm in the admin chat during these races. See if he's in the team. I'll take the
Yeah,
trip down to Florida.
yeah. Unfortunately, that didn't come out of the FTM bank account. That came out of our own, unfortunately. But no, man, it was fun. It was incredible. I was pretty nervous to go there because I've always had a fear of flying, so I was like, I don't know if I want to do it and this and that, and then ended up going and coming back, and it was something I'll remember for the rest of my life, and I hope the other guys can say the same thing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, speed weeks in February in Florida is very cool. It's really special. I've been down there quite a few years for it. I missed it this year because of some health reasons, but um, I saw your guys' group picture down there with Dino and stuff. And did you guys at least get Dino to splurge, take you out to dinner somewhere?
No, but he did recommend a couple of good places. We tried to plan something when Dino had a day off or just an off day where he wasn't as busy, but it just never worked out. But he did recommend some good spots, so I'll give him that.
I said,
Yeah,
Dino seems like the kind of guy that's busy when he's at Volusia the whole time.
yeah.
Yeah,
One of their days off is that Sunday between the UMP and the sprint cars and the start of the big blocks, the late models and stuff. And that Sunday when all the races are off, they're back at Volusia doing safety stuff. So safety schools. So Dean doesn't get a lot of downtime once he's down there.
no, he definitely doesn't. I want to say he said Tuesday was the a good day for him, but we landed Monday and kind of didn't really feel like doing much, so we kind of just stuck around the house and yeah, it just didn't work out. But like I said, he recommended some good spots, and we went cruising around and did that K1 karting stuff. That was pretty cool. It was a fun trip.
Now, did you make it to Daytona itself, to the Speedway?
Yeah, yeah, we went and watched the duels on Thursday. That was incredible. That place is huge.
So here is a very important question. And most any racer that's been to Daytona or Volusia knows this place. Did you make it to the wing house?
The wing house. No, I don't think we did. No.
No. Did you at least hear about it?
Uh, I don't think so, honestly.
Dino didn't recommend that.
Offline, I'll talk to you about the wing house. So, I'd say imagine Hooters, but maybe a little less coverage in Hooters even. So,
All right, all right.
Yeah,
I like it.
Hooters is corporate.
yes.
This is not corporate.
Okay,
You
okay.
guys are selling them to Florida. Though Twin Peaks is a lot like it, except Twin Peaks the beer comes out at 29 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the only place I've ever been. Twin Peaks where the beer comes out and it ices over as it's sitting in your glass. So if you like cold beer, Twin Peaks is the place to go. But they're all over the
I
East
enjoy
Coast, so
I enjoy me a nice cold beer, that's for sure.
um, did you get to meet Justin and Todd while you guys were down there at Volusia? I know some of you
Yeah,
guys did.
yeah. I shook hands with Justin. I think Scotty he told him that I was tied for the points lead at that time. That was after Charlotte,
Yeah.
and Justin made a funny comment saying that we would whoop his butt on the sim and stuff like that, and he was just an awesome guy. He was really good, and I personally think he had a great week. Just led some laps there in a feature. I can't remember which night, but he had a really good speed weeks in my opinion, and he was just an incredible guy.
Yeah, he had a good week. They actually sold the UMP car while they were down there. Guy walked over, wanted to buy it, and they sold it. So the UMP's car is no more. Um, but
Will there be another one for next year? Or?
I don't know. Um, that's a, that's a long 2 weeks for them when they're doing that.
Yeah. I mean, like the post that I think Super Nerd Car shared, 13 out of 15 nights he's racing.
He did, yeah. And the thing is, they drive so much different from each other. Um, I think the first night he's almost like deprogrammed himself from that car to get back in the habit of the big block. So last night, yeah, he had a good night. He had some problems there. He had an oil leak. Got back on the brake rotor and stuff. But overall, great week. Getting it dialed out, and I know we're really looking forward to getting to Malta to start the season down there early April. Coming off a strong finish last year in points, third place. So, but before that, we got uh, Georgetown, right? March 28th,
Yep.
Super Dirt Car Series. So, yeah,
Good.
it's getting close. It's only 3
Trevor,
weeks away.
now that we got kind of talk about real racing, like you said, you had some history in racing. Like, what is your background in like real racing, and like what kind of got you shoved towards iRacing? Like, was it like as you said, like the 358s, or were you already on iRacing before that happened?
Um, I was well, my dad, he raced at our local track. At the time, it was called South Buxton Raceway in Merlin, Ontario, and he raced late models. He was three-time track champion. So from the day I was born in '99, my dad was racing late models, and from '99 to, or I think it was like, yeah, 99 to '98 to about 2004, and then on and off until about 2008 after that, after he sold his car. So I was basically just born right into dirt track racing, late, just all late model stuff, right? And then in my area where I'm at currently, there's not really much of the like 358 big block mods. Um, my first time seeing them in person was actually down in Florida. Um,
Oh
I
shit!
knew I knew of them, and then
Yeah, I
come
just
on.
never seen a race in person. That's wild.
Yeah, I just never watched those guys in person until Florida, and then get on iRacing, and that's when I guess you could call it I was first introduced to them, and then like I said, got to see them in Florida, and man, those things are wild. Those are pretty cool. Like I said, I was all late model before that, just all super late models. Even to this day, I keep up with the Lucas Oil series and all that, but now I watched those guys run too. It's they put on some really good racing.
Yeah, that's I kind of the same as you. I grew up at a racetrack, like from little kid age, and watching those things just rip around the track were awesome. And then, yeah, got into the late models a little bit when Tim McCready went over and started driving late model, because that was my big block driver when I was a kid. Was Tim McCready. So
Now,
I
Brandon,
didn't.
was that because when he first got in the big block in '97? Is that because he was driving the Jeff Gordon Power Sports number 24?
nope. I didn't see Tim until he was in a Sweetener's Plus car.
Gotcha.
That was the first time I ever saw him ripping
People
around. But
people forget that his first sponsor in the big block was Jeff Gordon's Power Sports. It was
yeah, I had a DuPont looking ass thing. I know the car.
it was owned by Jim Beachy, crew chief by Jim Beachy, and yeah,
Jeff
that was
Gordon special.
1997.
No, I liked Barefoot Bob just because of his name, and like, I mean, I swear to God, I thought he raced barefoot still. Like, I was a little kid, I didn't understand it. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, Tim started big blocks in '97 and went to the mile. The only two rookies of the race that year were Tim McCready and Todd Stone, and we eked him out. We finished seventh on fuel mileage. we we went the final 88 laps on a tank of gas there at the mile and beat him that way. So um, it kind of
Missed that aspect of that
cool.
race.
What's that?
I missed that aspect of the race, was like fuel mileage and oh,
The
can he make it?
yeah. Well,
It was
I
it was, it
I
was
remember
wild.
sitting there knowing going well. We went 84 in practice and ran out on lap 84, and we gotta go 88. I just remember the sick feeling in my stomach, praying to God that he could save four laps of fuel, and somehow he did it. So ran out in the backstretch on the cool down lap. But yeah, I missed the mile for that reason. The strategy, the bodies. I really missed the body, the aero games that were played there. Trevor, so one thing we always ask people is, what's your sim rig? What do you have for a setup? What do you have for wheel, pedals, that sort of thing?
Um, I have I have a Moza R5 bundle, direct drive, quick release, all that fancy stuff, and then I just have the basic. I think they're called the Moza SRP pedals. They just come with the standard with the bundle, and it's just um hooked up to a desk that's kind of falling apart. I kind of need a new one looking at it, but it's just a big L-shaped desk, and I run a single monitor setup. It's a 32-inch curve monitor, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing fancy.
Yeah,
So
my
I'm just slow.
teammate
I ain't got
on the
nothing
National side
special.
has the same bundle, um, and he loves it. He loves his Moses stuff.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed this. I went from I think it was a Logitech something something iffy. I mean, gets a
G29.
yeah, something like that. I can't even remember. It
I
was
think we
a
all
couple
started on
years
that.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
it could be
it wa-
used on my computer and my Xbox. I mean, come on. At the time when I'm saving money as a kid,
Yeah.
can't get a better deal than that.
yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it gets you. For me, it was just. I mean, I've been on iRacing since 2017. I started with an old. Oh crap, I can't remember the name. It was like something super ancient that my grandpa gave to me, and won a couple races with it, and I loved it. I didn't even have a desk or anything. I actually put the wheel in between my legs and sat on the edge of my bed and raced like that for several months, and then got into the gear driven stuff, and then just a couple years ago finally got into the direct drive stuff, and it's a game changer. I love the Moses stuff. I recommend it to everybody. It's been really good.
That's what I have. I have a Mosa. I don't think I have the R7 or R9, whatever it is, R7, R9. Then I got the CR2P pedals, C3POs is what I call them. Because I
I
can never
had
remember what random letter combination they make.
I had the Moza R9 bundle in my shopping cart for months, and then when I got ready to buy, I ended up going to Sim Magics. Um,
Oh yes, and Magic, yeah.
yeah, I bought the Sim Magic stuff, and it's my only direct drive wheel I've ever had, so I can't tell you if it's good or bad. It's way better than the Fantech belt drive wheel I had before. So
Yeah, I've heard some really good things about the Sim Magic stuff.
yeah, so far I like it. I'll let you know in a year. I've only had it I think 4 months now, but so far I can't complain. Um, Took me a month though to find the right settings. I had tried a bunch of different stuff, and so now I don't know without
Are you
looking,
wait,
and I'm not going to switch my screen to look. Are you racing tomorrow morning in the ARCA series? I know we got some dirt
No,
guys that did join it. Were you one of them?
no.
See, Dean was Dean's been in there looking forward to beating up on some of the guys that he races on the dirt. So I think Dean spent some time this week practicing on asphalt.
He actually, I think he sent us a picture of an Arca car. I think it was all painted up, ready to go. So I think he's dialed in.
yeah, he's ready. He's ready. He posted in the leak or the leak chat too. Nice chromed out 79.
Yeah,
No purple on it though. I was kind of surprised. No purple. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
ask him if
I
he needs to
saw
paint.
that.
yeah. I wonder if he's
But
feeling okay. That's odd for him.
but before we have to hurry up and switch our guest over, I want to get a quick preview of like what you think of this year or not this year. This next week we're going to Lanier. Kind of it's a driver voted track. We all voted for. I don't know exactly who voted for. I might have voted for it. If I did, I hate myself for it. But what's your thoughts on Lanier, and then kind of like the aspect or the outlook on the overall season going towards this championship?
Um, Lanier, I really enjoy Lanier. My only problem with Lanier, I mean, it tends to be a little bit like a little bit of a one lane track. So I mean, it's not that big of a deal. You just gotta set yourself up good in qualifying, finish up front of a heat, and just be there, be out front, be in the top five at least, and you'll be fine. But um, like I
Yeah,
said,
that's
it's
another
just
thing actually I wanted to ask you too. Like qualifying heat races. How much are you weighing like getting the pole for the 5 bonus points versus like, oh, I know that's gonna put me starting fourth in the heat race every time. Like, are you always going for no, I want the 5 points. I think I can race my way up through in the heat race. Is that what you're thinking is?
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I would rather the 5 bonus points. I mean, starting fourth in heat isn't a big deal, even if say you qualify pole, you get your 5 points, and then you start fourth in the heat and you finish fourth. I mean, not a big deal. I mean, you're starting, I don't know, a little deep, nothing crazy. I mean,
Kind of
it's
what Chad did last weekend. That's what Chad
yeah,
did.
right. I think he finished fifth, and he started decently deep, and he finished the second. So I mean, it's not that big of a
Yeah.
deal. He still walks away with his 5 points, and then gains a point on me in the championship, right? So especially at this time of year, I think the points are way more valuable than to think that, oh, what if I start fourth? Like, at this time of year with what is it, 3 to 4 races left, like you need those points for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So then after this week, we got two extra distance races, a 40 lapper at Volusia and Charlotte, which I think not really too much extra distance, probably the same kind of like same race there, but then 100 laps at Oswego. And with the way this is going, I could easily see this going into that race as a tied or 5 point battle. Like, what's your thoughts on 100 laps to end this season? Like, how confident are you about that?
Honestly, I think 100 laps to end a season is awesome. I think that's really cool. My only issue is I'm gonna have to put some practice in at Oswego. I know Chad's really really good there. Matt's really really good there too. Matt Barber.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna have to dial in and put some practice in at Oswego. I'm not the greatest there, but you know it's 100 laps, right? Anything can happen. Your tire conservation is gonna come into play.
Yep.
So I think that's really cool. It's a really good way to end the season for sure. And then I think you said Volusia was coming up too. That's another great track. What is it? 45 laps, I think you said. That's or 40 laps.
40.
Uh,
Yep. And I
yeah,
mean, the last two times we went to Volusia and Charlotte, I mean, you've been the winner. So
yeah. So I mean,
I think, is that another strategy? Be like, let's keep this going. Let's just keep reeling off wins and stretch this point gap so you don't have to worry about Oswego as much either.
yeah. I mean, that in a perfect world, that'd be how I picture it happening. But knowing Chad and these guys that are third and fourth, I don't think they're out of it either. So it's just I'm gonna have to, plug off another win or two in there, or at least just stay consistent on the podiums, and just hope that I can create a nice gap between me and Chad or Matt, whoever ends up second at that time, or even if I'm still the leader at that time. Just gotta stay consistent and hope there's a good gap there that going into Oswego where I won't say there's enough room for a mistake, but there's a little bit of leeway there to finish, a seventh or an eighth or something. But like I said, I'm gonna be at the sim putting in the time, and I mean you can ask the FTM guys; they know how much a championship would mean to me, especially in my rookie season. I mean, I went into this league just wanting to win a race, so I think I got four now, and I'm in contention for the championship. So I've already exceeded my own expectations. Just gotta, like I said, finish it up strong and just be consistent.
Awesome. Well, Trevor, thanks for coming on. You got any shout outs you want to give before we let you go here and bring the jet in?
Yeah, for sure. Just want to give a huge shout out to you guys first and foremost for bringing me on. It's pretty cool to do this. I really appreciate it, guys, and everybody at 802 and G.Stone Motors for giving us a place to race. I've said in an interview before, it's just this place. This is an awesome league to race in. So I appreciate everybody putting this stuff on, all the way from every single sponsor to you guys doing the podcast to the broadcast. So it's from top to bottom. It's been awesome. Just thank all the guys at FTM, especially Dean for introducing me to this league. It's been really fun, like I said. So thank you, Dino. Um, thank all the sponsors on the car. It's been a fun season. It's not over yet. So but thank all the sponsors on the car: Vertex Graphics, Expert Installation, Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series, RSN Trackside. Everybody who makes this stuff possible on the car. Thank my wife for letting me race, let me do this stuff. I race a lot, man, almost every single day. So I'm in my office a lot, and I haven't heard her complain yet. So props to her, man. It's she's awesome with it. She knows this is my passion. That's what I love to do. I bleed racing, so and she knows that. So she's been very awesome. But yeah, looking forward to the last few races, man. It's gonna be a barn burner, if you will. It's gonna be fun.
Okay, Trevor, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. You've been a great representative of the league and a great competitor, and we look forward to seeing how your season plays out. And wish you nothing but the best.
Thanks, Rob. I really appreciate it, man, and thank you, Brandon. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys for having me on and the kind words. It means a lot. So thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you,
Trevor.
Trevor.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
in all your racing this coming week, and I'm sure at some point we'll be talking to you again here this season.
Hopefully, man. Thanks, guys.
Okay, have a good night.
You too.
Great guy there. Great representative
Yeah,
for FTM and for our league, and it's been fun watching the race broadcast on Wednesdays, and watching him
I
race.
almost wonder if because he races for FTM, if we can claim him for the Team USA wins. I'll have to get back with Dean on that.
It's probably a
Other
gray
than
area.
that, it's a gray area. I mean, there was a guy that was on Team Canada's hockey team that was born in Rochester, New York. So I'm just saying, I think we can work that out. But
Okay, you ready for the
next
jet?
guest, yeah, the next guest is here, and yeah, I'm ready for the
He's
jet.
been a gentleman. We were 3 minutes early with Trevor, and we're 6 minutes late with Brett. So we're +3 on the night, I guess. So uh,
That's all right.
our next guest needs no introduction to the asphalt side of our league. The guys over on the dirt side, I don't think have ever heard him in one of their broadcasts. We have heard the dirt guy over in one of our broadcasts start of this season, or was it last season? I can't remember. Baraja made a cameo, but join us now is Brett the Jet Hahne. He's the broadcaster for both our Winston Cup Series on Sunday nights and our Busch Series on Friday nights. Um, has done our late model stock series back in the day, and did our summer series where he rotated between 4 different cars, random vehicles. So, Brett, how are you doing this Friday night?
Man, I tell you what is up, boys? How are we doing? I'm doing pretty good myself. I mean, first and foremost, it's got to feel weird being on the other side of this a little bit, right?
It does. Usually
But
you're
I swear
interviewing
I'm not
us.
coming for your job. I'm not coming for your
we
job.
are rank amateurs. That is for sure at this.
Well, awesome stuff. First and foremost, I gotta know, can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah,
Yes,
I do
yes,
not.
we're
It's
Oh,
not
explicit.
safe for
hell
kids.
yeah. Hell yeah. That's one of the toughest parts about broadcasting. You get 3 hours up there and you can't swear like once. It gets a little challenging. You got to start getting a little creative for
I
words to
don't
make
think.
up stuff.
I mean,
Bro, does that
I
mean we're not allowed to swear when we get interviewed?
No, you are. We try and keep it family friendly, but at the end of the day, I do market that it's 18 plus because you never know what you're gonna get. Especially those. I always worry, from those infield care centers, that someone's gonna go off. That's always my biggest fear. But luckily, it's never happened, and I give a lot of people props for reining it back in.
don't forget we did have one injury this summer, actual physical injury during our Daytona race.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
Matt
right.
Johnson
That happened to
sprained
Matt.
his left wrist. He had a brand new 25 Newton meter direct drive wheel, and he was racing Daytona at 25 Newton meters, and he got his wrist caught up
100,
in the wheel.
Oh,
100% full force
Yeah,
feedback.
100% full
He was
oh.
force
driving.
feedback at Daytona.
Wow, yeah. I tell you what, those sim stuff, especially direct drives, you got to be careful with
Yeah.
it. Like, I have mine turned down to like 40% and the safety mode on because I'm like, I do not want to be breaking fingers or anything like that.
So Brett, where do you want to start? Do you want to give us the history of Turn 3? Like, we've been associated with you guys on and off with both you and Roger. I want to say going back to like 2021, maybe 2022.
Yeah,
If we go back to the Joe
Rogers
Six
done all
Pack days,
four.
I think it was back to 2021, right?
Yeah,
And I'm
I
not really.
believe.
I know you and Roger and you got Al, but what is Turn 3? Who is it? How did it start? Give us the rundown.
Yeah, for sure. So, actually, I had to do a little bit of research myself for this, but it actually started in 2019 with four on-air talents that wanted to do something, a little bit different. Those four that kind of the OG of Turn 3 were, I guess, Chris, Rick, KR, and Roger. So KR and Roger, of course, still broadcast. I think Chris and Rick, have kind of taken a backseat to that, but with them taking a backseat, there's other talents that they brought on such as Upstate Al Smith out there, and then of course Dave in the Cave, Dave Worrell, and Turn 3 overall, has done a lot of different stuff, everything from IndyCar series, F1 stadium trucks, of course, dirt, asphalt, road. The only thing I don't think we've hit yet on the iRacing simulator is the dirt rally racing, which I think is pretty niche market to begin with, right?
Yeah. So, is it safe to say that come August, we will be the first series on Turn 3 that run Bathurst and a next gen car?
I believe so. I'd have to double check, but I don't think we've ever broadcast a race on Bathurst. I know for myself, I don't have a camera pack for that place.
Give us a prediction. Is that going to be just a disaster, or you think it'll be okay?
I mean, besides the first right-hander, the first left-hander, everyone will take it easy. The first right-hander will be determining of how the race will go. I mean, if everyone survives through that, it's going to be a lights-out, great race with people, just trying to find the limit. Because, I mean, that track, everyone loading up to that place knows it's going to be them versus the track, and whatever position they're in, they're going to take at the end of the day.
So we do have a ringer in the lead for that. Jeff Pogo. He's won, 3 straight Bathurst 12-hour races?
Yep.
So I'm sitting here, and I want your professional opinion. Do we start him 3 laps down or 5 laps down? Do we handicap him 3 laps or 5?
I think
he has to do the first 5 laps in reverse.
It's an hour and a half
exactly.
race. It's not laps. It's timed. It's an hour and a half. So 3 or 5. What do you think's fair?
I think the 5 laps, because he is something else when it comes to Bathurst. Like, I practiced a little bit with him with the GT3 cars, just to see. And I mean, he is lights out at that place. I was blown away because I can do kind of decent, jumping into a car or whatever. But I mean, man, he's got that place down to a T. I bet he could drive that thing with his eyes closed.
Yeah, I asked him his best time in this past 12-hour, and he told me, and he was only like 4/10 off Matt Malone's best time. So, and Matt that does it, he's streaming for a living, those mostly road course stuff, So, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's no slouch either. That Matt Malone, that's for sure.
So, we got your history on turn 3. Now, give us your history on iRacing.
Yeah, so good old iRacing, started back in I wanted to pull it up here, but I want to say 2012 is when I first got the sim. My dad actually got me into it because he's like, he heard from a buddy that this racing game, is pretty realistic. So I jumped in there, tried it on out, and the first thing, right, loaded up on the home computer, super pumped up, and then all I see is smoke, and that's it. Game crashes. I'm like, well, I guess I got to build a PC. So saved up a little bit of money, me at 12 years old, saving up some money, and then finally was able to get a PC. And then, yeah, from there, the rest is history. 14 years on the sim, done everything from, racing for a championship in a series versus, running league stuff and even competing in some of the coolest events. Like, I don't know if you guys remember or heard of the Landon Castle qualifying challenge back in the day.
I think it was before me.
Yeah, it was right around 2021, like kind of right during when the peak of everything was kicking off.
So yeah, I guess I missed that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a big time thing. Big names in there like Ray Alfala, Zach Novak, all those boys, and I was able to qualify into that. So that's kind of one of my biggest accomplishments on the sim was to be a part of that show. Just to be a part of it was definitely too cool enough. And with the qualifying challenge, it was like the old school all-star qualifying challenge in the mid 2010s where it was like down pit road, full speed, stop in the box and go again. So it was like something way out of left field. And that was definitely one of the highlights, of iRacing. But besides that, all sorts of league championships and, enjoying just going out there and turning laps. I've had, many opportunities to try and go pro, and that kind of time dedication isn't in my wheelhouse just yet. I don't want to make the sim, a job. Because at the end of the day, if you're going out there treating it like a job, it takes the fun away. And at that point, it's no bueno in my eyes.
Yeah. So
speaking of not turning it into a job, I mean, you kind of did. Like, what made you be like, what? I want to broadcast these races.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point. Actually, I'm going to go crack open a nice cold one here as we get into that story. But yeah, it actually came along because of a league. So I started with my buddies a sim racing league called American Sim Racing Club, and that was because we actually got kicked out of a NASCAR league for being too fast. So they're like, well, we don't want you here anymore. Actually removed us kind of a bad way. So left a sour taste, but at the end of the day, we're like, well, we'll go start our own, see what we can do. And once we did that, they're like, it would be really good, especially for publicity, if we could get a broadcaster in there. So we went around, tried different broadcasters, but I kind of took over the NASCAR side of things. So no experience, anything like that. Went out there on my own and started, doing a little bit of broadcasting, having some fun with it because I didn't take it seriously. I wasn't getting paid. So I was like, it's a good time. And we actually had Roger broadcasting our dirt series when we ran that for a few seasons. And I think Roger and even Dave, kept a little bit of an eye on me and kind of saw, what they kind of liked and, where I could make some improvements on. And from there, Turn 3 approached me, said, hey, we like you to broadcast with us. And I'm like, man, that's an opportunity I can't turn down. So I think that was late 2021, heading into 2022, signed with them. And the rest is history. Been really enjoying it because at the end of the day, the best part of it is one, getting people to be able to watch back the races. That's, a special thing in of itself. But man, the people you run across on the sim, it's incredible, especially once you get to hear their stories or whatnot. It's an endless flow, and that's what I find the most fun in racing too, is getting the bench racing.
Yeah, I think one of the things that people don't know is I would say you've been a huge part of our growth as a league, and personally, I bounce stuff off you, quite often. Just past this week, I reached out to you and bounced some stuff off you. Um, and that's something that I should acknowledge more, that you have been not just the broadcast side of it, but as far as the moral support and the giving us advice as a league on growth and, hey, what are we doing good? What are we doing? What can we get better at? You've been huge for that for us. Um, you said you started 2012, so you and Ritter started about the same time because I believe he joined the service in 2012 too. So you got quite. I think he's got I don't want to say he's around the 12,000 account number, so you must be right in that area too. Your account number. I think he's like 12.5 or something. Or actually, I can look.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine starts with a 6-7, memeing on up, whatever. But it's only a 5-digit number, if that kind of makes sense as well to give it perspective.
Yeah. So now that I've asked, I kind of want to see how close you guys are. Yeah,
Yeah, because
20. He's 25,257. He was when did he start? I could have swore it was like 2000. He's been on 17 years. Oh,
wow.
sorry, he's 2009.
Ooh, yeah,
Wow.
that's really OG then back there.
He's been on the service longer than some of the guys that race with us have been alive. Sorry,
Exactly.
Steve. not, not trying to make you sound old, bud, but wow. But you've been
Yeah.
going on 15 years then, if 2012.
Yep. Yeah, coming up to 15 because I'm looking at my stats here. Didn't make my official first start till right around December 2011. And I remember that season too because I actually took that and raced the SK mods because I was going to go race big cars first full time for the first time in my life at 14 years old. I'm like, well, there's no other practice. I race quarter midgets and I'm like, there's really no other kind of practice you could get. And at 14, I'm like, well, there is this iRacing. I guess I'll pour my money and time into this, see what I could do. And that first season raced, SK Mod, tried to race for a championship. I think I finished like third in the world. I mean, at the end of the day, the fraction of the amount of people that are into it these days. But I remember, even making friends with people just racing consistently in the SK Mods in my first ever season.
Two more questions for you from me, and then I'll let Brandon jump in. One
Yeah.
is, what's your most memorable moment in iRacing as a racer?
Yeah, I would say, I go back to that Landon Castle qualifying challenge for like being on the big stage. I mean, that in and of itself, was just a super cool opportunity to race. At the end of the day, everyone was racing for 10 grand. So it was a lot of money on the line, just to have the opportunity to race for. Because I think at the end of the day, 500 people signed up and they took the best 40 cars for your time in a B car at Auto Club. So was able to qualify in there, and that was definitely really memorable. And I got to go back, to my first ever championship in ASRC. We got to race the likes of Josh Caudill. He's kind of big time now in the setup building shop, especially on the short track side of things, but got to beat him for a championship there. And since then, won 6 other championships in ASRC, and each win is special. But those are kind of the big highlights that I get out of that. And I also got to say, the other really cool thing was I actually got my dad into the sim. So the first ever time me and him got to race against each other on the sim, that's always a special place in my heart as well.
And then my other question, or actually there might be a third question, but my second question I have for you, I've seen Roger wearing it. Do you have a big hat too? A turn 3 hat?
Sadly, no. I keep that to Roger for right now. I do have to get with him to try and see where he got that from. But in one of my trips on the east coast of the state, I actually got to link up with him and have a really good breakfast at a Amish joint. Who would have guessed in the middle of Pennsylvania, right? An Amish breakfast place. But that was also really cool, to meet Roger in person and, shoot the shit a little bit with him was definitely really cool as well. Because like I said before, you never know who you're going to meet on the sim,
Roger's a great guy. He's been really good to us, and he's just got that voice that is perfect for like he could go and do MRN, not a problem. He has that MRN, the Barney Hall or the Dave Moody voice. So then my third question just popped in my mind. Have you decided yet if you're gonna do the 600 with us?
Yeah, I mean, I at least joined the Discord, and it's definitely tempting. I do have it on my radar, so I might have to brush off my old wheel and give it a try. Speaking about MRN, actually, Roger did get to work with Alex Hyde a little bit from MRNN, so
Really?
a little cool fun fact there as well.
Let me get Roger on here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a bucket list.
Oh yeah, he would have some good stories.
I'm gonna come up with a list of people that I want to get on here, and Roger's on there now. So.
Maybe what we'll do at the maybe we can work it out since we got some dirt guys. Maybe we'll get one of the ARCA races if both Brett and Roger can be free at 9 a.m. on a Saturday. Maybe we'll have them do an ARCA race, and Roger knows the dirt guys that are racing. Brett knows the asphalt guys.
Yeah, me and Roger could have a friendly little bet in there, if an asphalt guy's gonna win on the asphalt, which I bet they will, but I won't count my eggs before the ducks before they hatch or whatever the saying is, but I'm banking on my asphalt boys.
Well, I could win this race. What happens if I win?
Yeah, you're an asphalt guy. Your performance in the dirt just doesn't qualify as a dirt guy yet.
I got a top 5 last week. I got a top 5 last.
You did.
Come on. And I drove from the back.
And we still have to have the all-star race for all the leagues. Like we've talked about doing that, a dirt race and an asphalt race the same night, and we got to make that happen this year. We couldn't make it happen last year; just no one's schedule worked out. But we got to get that. We got to make that work. That would be fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I got a couple of questions for Brett. First one. Is that first Brett the Jet broadcasted race out on the internet somewhere?
Oh yeah. You can go back.
Is it on like your YouTube or would it be on Turn 3?
No, so it's on my own personal YouTube page. So a little insight here for the listeners here. I actually started a YouTube page called Brett the Jet Productions. You can actually go and have a few live stream in-car races or whatever. But yeah, my first ever one's on there. And I actually, back in the day had some fun with some stuff and actually used a lot of the old school, like cool NASCAR commercials for the intermission. And once I came over to Turn 3, they're like, yeah, you might have to cut those out, for copyright reasons or whatnot. I was like, oh, that was some of my best parts. Like, yeah, the old Pepsi,
wasn't doing
Britney
nothing.
Spears.
And for those of you looking to find Brett the Jet Productions YouTube, I have just posted the link to his homepage in the general chat. So there you go.
Yeah, I was getting ready for that. And then
awesome.
Ask a couple just like league driver questions that I see in our show sheet. So I'm gonna ask, who do you think is the most underrated driver? It could be either series, in either the Busch or the Cup series. It don't matter. Just one driver that you think is very underrated, but they're actually they outperform like how much they might seem to get the accolades. Like they don't get the podium finishes. They're not getting interviewed all the time. Who's that guy?
Yeah, for sure. That's always an interesting question because even in iRacing, you can see some people kind of ebb and flow and kind of, have a really good season and then kind of fall on off and then come on back. So that's really tough. But if I had to say one person, I mean, he showed up, big time at Michigan, but I would say Frank Zingen. It always seems like he always has some really, really bad luck and can't quite get the finish when it's all said and done. But then he went out there and proved everyone wrong, last week at Michigan.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's a good one because Frank jumped from uh 14th in the point standings all the way up to third and is looking pretty comfortable as of race one. And then my second question is more for you. Like what kind of race do you prefer to call? Do you like the short track or we're kind of like all tight on each other, but eventually it kind of gets spaced out? Or do you like the plate track where we're all bunched up? Like what's the kind of race that you like calling?
You guys aren't gonna like the answer, but the plate tracks are sometimes the hardest to call as a broadcaster. Like you get 80 laps out there, and you know deep down it's gonna be 65 laps of people just riding on around. So I definitely have to bring a little bit more material. Use my brain a little bit more when it comes to a super speedway race. This especially season 6 of the 802 boys, it has been exciting throughout the field. Like every time I click through, there's always some sort of battle going on track, and that definitely helps a lot from a broadcaster point of view because at the end of the day, you can't be bored with what's going on, or else people are going to be bored with it.
Yeah, and I mean the playoff aspect right now too, like that puts a whole different storyline into everything where last week we had 5 of us that had connection issues. And that totally flipped the points upside down in a way. So we're definitely
Oh yeah,
providing you some storylines. We're hoping.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I mean, I love when it comes down to that, storylines coming in, rivalries, stuff like that. I mean, we don't see, of course it's got to be reined in and done at a professional level, but I always dig me some rivalries. It always helps, having people, hype up their favorite driver, stuff like that. But as long as it's done in good fun, we don't actually want people actually getting pissed off at each other and that sort of stuff because that's no bueno in the grand scheme of things. But to go out there and have fun, and like you said, man, the playoffs just provide all sorts of good information, especially for people that maybe tuning into sim racing the first ever time to get kind of the full backstory as well as what's going on right now. It can be kind of interesting, I think. And I think sim racing has gone a long way here in the past couple of years, both in the racing on here as well as the production. I should say in league racing, official always seems to be a little iffy, but league stuff, seems to be going pretty well.
Yeah, I would agree, and I actually feel like the last month the officials have cleaned up a little bit. Um, I know it's gonna bite me when I do the NIS race tomorrow, but I'll be wishing I never said that. But um, Brett, we got about 10 minutes left in the show. We're gonna put you on the spot, and we're gonna have you do
Race picks. Let's
race
go.
picks for tonight and for Sunday. So we always let the guests go first, so let's pick the Busch race tonight.
All right, so the Busch race here tonight at Dover. I mean, I'm sorry, boys. I'm gonna go with the kind of the layup here, and if Chad Coleman is there in tonight's race, I think he's gonna pick up the win. But if he's not, it might be Mike Kelly there. So I'm sorry, I'll take the easy picks off the board, but
So
that's who I'm going
you're
with.
taking Chad Coleman, and you took if your backup pick, you took my. I was gonna go next, and you took my pick because Mike Kelly seemed to dominate on the concrete at Bristol. He was in position to win the Busch race until he got his left front in the apron and wrecked out. But then he came back on Sunday at Bristol on the concrete and won. Um,
They're going Mike Kelly.
No, Brett. We'll let Brett pick two. We'll let him.
Well,
He can't have
Yeah, I
he
can't pick
can't have
two.
two.
We can
No,
share
we can't-
Mike Kelly if
Mike
you'd
Kelly
like.
was going to be my pick.
We
All right.
can't let Brett get
And
two
I just want to
picks.
say that I picked my
'Cause
teammate
I'm gonna
Steve
take
Ritter
two.
last week, and Steve wrecked again. So I will.
Dang.
I give my word. I will never pick a teammate again from here on out.
Well, speaking of not picking teammates, I'm gonna take Jeff Pogo because Jeff Pogo will be there tonight. Can confirm as a teammate, and that's
Breaking
my pick.
news.
That's really, but yeah, I guess it's breaking news. I ain't spoiling nothing, but I think my other teammate might be there tonight too. So the boys are after my money this weekend. That's why they're here. They're going for the weekend sweep. They both like Dover, so yeah, they're coming for Brandon's money. So yeah, I'm picking Jeff Pogo.
Okay. So that takes us to Sunday night, the Cup Series. Brett.
Yeah, so that's a tough one there, but to go along with Brandon's point, I've been looking at the 97 machine. Jeff Pogo won the last time they were at Dover back in season 5 in November 2024. I'm going to go with Jeff Pogo on Sunday night.
Okay.
Me,
I'll let
you go
Br-
good. You
Go ahead, Brandon. I'll go last.
I was going to say, I think I took his pick, so he's got to think of a backup one here.
Nope, I wasn't gonna. No, because I can't pick him to actually take my money as much. You know what I mean? I wanted to say Anthony, but I picked Anthony last week, I believe, and I don't want to keep picking the same drivers over again. You know what? I think he's gonna do it again. Give me Frank. Give me Frank Zingen.
Okay.
He did win the season 2 Dover race, so
Yep,
that's a good pick, Brandon.
Frank's underratedly good at Dover. So yeah, that's my guy.
Oh. Nick
Did
Larson.
I steal your pick? I was gonna say, did I steal your pick, Rob?
Nope, Nick Larson.
Nice.
I
That's a
am
solid.
usually
Nick's so solid.
I am usually pretty good at Dover, and I'll tell you, Nick was better than me in practice this week, so I'm gonna go with Nick.
Yeah, that's another underrated driver of the league, Nick Larson, right there in that 2 machine. Like, when he's on it, he'll be running, contending top 5, top 3 there. But once again, another driver. It doesn't seem like he has too much luck on his side, right?
You know what? I can't pick a teammate. I've jinxed every teammate I've picked. I
he
am
did
pulling
just say
that
he
off the
wasn't gonna
board.
jinx
I am not going to
teammate.
be the guy that jinxes Nick.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I could use a little bit of jinx of the guys that are above me in the playoff cut
no.
line, so I wasn't gonna say nothing. Eli, Steve, Nick, Johnny, any one of them. Yourself.
I'll pick Anthony.
Yeah, that's who I was gonna pick, but I didn't want to pick him 2 weeks in a row.
I'll pick Anthony
So
on that one.
Yep.
And then we didn't pick. I think we picked the dirt when Trevor was here. Who you pick on the dirt, Brandon? Or actually, Brett, you can pick the dirt if you want.
Do you know any of the dirt?
If you know them guys, if not, you can just pass.
I was gonna say I've heard his
How's
name
this?
thrown on around a lot. Is he racing old Dean Reynolds?
Dean is.
All right, we're doing Dean Reynolds.
I was just to say, to be fair, we could have gave Brett all of Team Canada.
We could.
He could just pick from the American driver.
And I'll say Dean is not a bad pick because Dean finds a way to win every season.
And I heard it was Lanier next week.
It is Lanier.
That track is an X Factor track. You're either ripping the bottom, and then once that goes away, you're putting that thing on the fence, and it can be slide job city there.
I don't know, Dean. I think Dean's been focusing on this ARCA car too much.
I think he has been practicing
it. I think he's getting too much time over in Japan. So, but Dean's a great pick. He's very solid.
You see, he had the rig stuck in downtown Tokyo.
Yeah, I seen it. Dean,
wow.
Ever since we started with the AI.
To be honest, I think he got to a Japanese bathhouse, and that's how he got stuck. But we won't discuss that.
He's at the massage parlors.
Yeah, Brett. So the dirt guys over there use AI, and they have haulers and everything that they post each week.
Wow. I see
Yeah.
their videos even on, the regular Facebook kind of iRacing dirt page, and
Yeah.
I see their work there. I'm like, man, that's some pretty sweet stuff.
Yeah,
So
Shane does.
that's I'll give I was gonna give Shane a shout out. High Side Production. Shane does all those videos, like the recap videos, and he does a hell of a job with those. Those are awesome, and yeah, just give him a shout out because pretty much to give a little bit of advertising. That's he does those for us, and I'm sure you can reach out. I don't know if he has a Facebook page to figure all that, but you could reach out to him. Anybody that has an iRacing league, and I'm sure Shane could get you hooked up with some kind of videos.
Okay, so Dean's off the board. Who are you picking, Brandon?
Lanier. Give me Sam Bachman. Our defending champion hasn't won yet this year.
You took my pick.
Clay's the only other American that's won, so I feel like this track's gonna come into like a Sam Bachman type of track.
Okay, so now I got to think about who I'm going to pick here.
I no offense to the Canadians, I had to try to I gotta get us back. The U.S. needs another win in the league. We're struggling.
I'm going to take Roselli, Anthony Roselli.
Another great pick.
The kid's gotta pick one off. He's he's up there towards the front every week.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that usually can sneak out a win each year.
Yep.
Yep.
So
those are three solid picks.
Yeah, we're gonna be practice will be open here in 3 minutes. I will not be racing tonight. I have been up since 12:30, and I honestly I'm exhausted. I can't keep my eyes open. I am in no shape to go out there and race, and I'm not gonna go out there and because I'm tired, make a mental mistake and wreck somebody. So, Brandon will be doing admin duties tonight. Kind of sucks. I want to try out my new admin box, but
I'm very strict when I'm an admin. I don't mess around.
The
boys know.
I played around with the admin box during one of our new league sponsors, admin box, and Mr. Fish, and I played around it in a hosted race of AI, and it's freaking awesome. Like it's just so easy to black flag individuals or clear individual blacks, or well worth the money for it. So if anyone's out there runs a league and you're sick of trying to, especially if you're racing and running a league and you're sick of trying to clear blacks one-handed as you're driving through mouse or any of that, go ahead and look at Admin Box. Google them. They have a website. They give discounts to leagues with sponsorships and stuff. They gave me a 25% discount for the league owner, and then I got codes for 10 people to get a 20% discount. So anyone from our league that's looking to get an admin box, give me a DM and I'll get you the code, and it's a great thing. So
we got Chris Progar in the Discord trying to get Brett the Jet to wake up at 9 a.m. for broadcasting these ARCA races.
Oh, I didn't see that. What was he saying?
he said, Brett, what do you say?
Yeah,
I tell you what, for 4 races.
Yeah, I tell you what, 9 a.m. a little bit early for myself, especially for going out there partying on up or whatnot. I still like to think I'm a little bit on the younger side. 9 a.m.'s still a little bit rough for myself.
Well, that's like
we're just barely going to be getting done the Busch race.
Exactly.
Well, I did 9 o'clock because if after tomorrow, the NIS race will start at 6 a.m. And so the NIS races might go to 8:30, 8:45. So that's why we're doing a 9 o'clock start.
Yep.
But to get back to your point about that being kind of early, a couple seasons ago I did some coaching with Zach Novak, and I was working second shift at the time. so I need to do it like during the week, like before like 11 a.m. And there was a couple times he slept right through the alarm clock because he doesn't get up that early. So
Yeah.
I, I I'm old. I'm 50 now. I forget what it's like to party all night and then sleep half the day away. So enjoy it now while you can, Brett, because when you get older, you stay up to 10 o'clock and you're up late. So
Oh yeah, yeah. We're trying to enjoy it as we can, but I tell you what, even me now at 27, some nights I stay up and I'm like, man, what am I doing? I wake up the next day and it is tough to get out of bed.
yeah, I got up at 12:30 this morning because we were supposed to have freezing rain and I had to be to work at
Ooh,
4:30, and I live 7 miles away from my place of work, so I
ooh.
expected about a 20-mile-an-hour drive to work, and um,
Yeah, speaking about weather too, I didn't realize it, but apparently here in Michigan, it's tornado season. We had a pretty bad tornado just actually roll through a few hours ago, so
really,
no bueno. Yeah, yeah. That of course, it'll be a little bit till they rate it or whatnot, but the rumor is it's one of the Michigan's biggest and highest category ones that we've had ever.
well, that's insane.
Yeah, I was like, man, it is the beginning of March. What do you mean we're already getting tornadoes?
I am fixing the server right now. That's on me. I didn't change it to 8:30. It's starting now.
Sweet.
But
Let me jump
yeah,
over.
Yeah, no, appreciate the time, boys. And yeah, if you guys ever want me to jump back on, we got all sorts of then more stories, real life racing. Hopefully this year we got a few race cars, hopefully getting ready to slap together and whatnot, and my dad too as well. So hopefully we'll be out there a few times this year as well, out there trying to turn some laps and have some fun because that's the name of the game at the end of the day. We're not going to go out there outspend anyone, but we'll be there, longer than the guys that will give it a few years, blow all their money. We'll still be out there having fun.
yeah, it was great to have you on, Brett, and yeah, we'll be. I believe the plan is to do this podcast year round, so we would
Awesome.
love to be able to get on and actually talk more about the non-virtual side of your racing
Oh
endeavors.
yeah, yeah, for
But
sure. And me being a broadcaster, I could talk all day if given the opportunity.
I mean, you kind of have to. You're in there by yourself most of the time, so
Exactly.
and you do a great job by yourself. And yeah, just want to say again, appreciate you. I think this is what your is this your third year with the Cup Series with us, or second, 2.5?
Yeah, I think
Uh,
2.5 with it, and so far been really enjoying it. I don't know if Rob mentioned, back in the day with Joe Sixpack is kind of my first ever NASCAR series, and went through the ringer a little bit with that back in the day. That put me to the coals right away, but overall, great learning experience, and yeah, I'm glad to go out there and kind of display, some of these really good leagues that put on a great show that deserve to get broadcast like you guys.
yeah, and then also appreciate. I mean, you started out racing Friday nights, and then you jumped in the broadcast booth on Friday, so appreciate that. And yeah, we just like Rob said earlier, we appreciate everything you've done for the league, and you are just as much of a contributor to our growth as we are, and everybody else that's ever been part of the 802.
Absolutely, we wouldn't be where we are without you, Brett, and fully appreciate it, and look forward to the future. And um, I personally can't thank you enough.
Yeah, for sure. That goes right back to you guys. You're the ones that put in all the time and effort with this, especially on the admin side. I mean, that alone, goes so unthanked. And I know that personally with my league. So we got to thank you guys as well for, selecting these good drivers out here and a great place to go out there and have some fun and turn some laps here. So appreciate you guys as well. And like you said, I can't wait to see, where this grows. And I tell you what, it's already been awesome to see the growth. So it's only upwards from here, right?
Yep, that's
Absolutely.
right, Brett. And we'll let you go. I'm sure you got a little bit of prep before you get into the booth for the race tonight. And yeah, if anybody's looking to hear Brett's voice more, go on the Turn 3 Racing Network YouTube page, find the 802 Busch Series race tonight, and you can hear Brett call hopefully a very exciting Dover race.
Okay, Brett, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks again, guys, for having me. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys on track. And I guess for you, Rob, we look forward to seeing you out there on Sunday.
Yeah, I would like to race tonight, but I'm not in any condition to race.
Yep, for sure. I totally don't blame you for that call.
That must be him there. Okay, thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, thanks again, guys, and we look forward to chatting with you guys later. Have a good one.
Sounds good. Well, Brandon, I'll let you go practice, and we have a guy looking to get in the Busch League here before the start of the race, so I got to figure out who it is. I don't
Sounds
know if
good. Yeah, well,
is that Kyle? But okay, we'll catch you guys next
Yeah.
Friday night, same time as always for the podcast. You guys have a good night.
yeah, we'll see you next Friday.